Part 3, the competitiveness versus spirituality of success. The content for this podcast comes from my book, Advanced Success Secrets, and you can get a free copy of each of my 8 bestsellers at alexhammerbooks.com. That's AlexHammerbooks.com. And obviously part 3 picks up where part 2 left off. If you count only on yourself and your own set of abilities, you will be living off, quote, the sweat of your brow, or your own cutting. Many people live this way, but there is a vast intelligence that we are not aware of if we only live this way. You can call it intuition or faith or another name, but there is a deeper wisdom that is available to us when we learn to tap into it. Some people do this through meditation, some commune with nature. Some people do this by going to church or synagogue or mosque, etc. Some in personal or silent prayer. I'm not here to say that one form of tapping into this wisdom is greater than another, but I am here to tell you that if you can find an effective way to tap into that wisdom beyond your own critical thinking and planning mind and physical efforts, you will be better off. Much better off. How do I know this? I could be wrong, but I have seen it many times and heard many successful people talk and write about it as well. I believe strongly also in something I call, quote, perfect moments. If you believe that the world is perfect already and that while we still have to expend considerable effort as we have various roles to play, then you will find it in your experience. It will bring you peace and joy. And peace and joy are, through the law of attraction, the key emotions or emotional states which bring you success. It is being versus becoming. Because the external world mirrors the internal, if you feel complete and perfect within yourself, that is a very powerful draw in terms of the energy that you are emanating to attract the desires of your heart. Because we live in a world of attraction, when you say no to things, you may think that you are pushing them away, but you are drawing them in instead. Attention is attraction, whether it is positive or negative. Although I believe that positive thoughts are much more powerful than negative ones. In my life, I don't go after things, or try not to. I attempt to live in these perfect moments. I am, however, extremely active, including writing. So perfect moments is not just a reserved state. I see perfect moments as an attention to the energy within oneself, or the intuition, or whatever you want to call it, and going with that. Going with inspired action, not just any action. This doesn't negate planning. Planning can also be intuitive. Intuition will put a lot of planning into your mind, but it won't be a striving. It'll be a moment-to-moment experience in terms of what is right for the day, or the moment. Life can be lived naturally, and this is much more productive, actually, than living competitively, and from a sense of deficiency or fear. To live naturally or in the moment, what Eckhart Tolle famously terms, quote, the power of now, means also that one must be willing to give up things whose purpose has been realized or has passed. Sometimes we hold on to relationships which have passed, or career, or ideas about ourselves. We are changing and growing and evolve every moment, but sometimes our ideas of ourselves are not. Pain comes when our ideas of ourselves lag behind who we are right now, today. In these perfect moments. So, life is highly, highly, highly competitive. But from a spiritual perspective, when we're living naturally, some call it grace, we're right where we need to be, with all the intelligence, energy, and resources needed to do what we are meant to do. Not always what we might choose to do or like to do, but what we need to do. Like the expression, quote, we don't always get what we want, but we get what we need. That feels pretty good to me. Finally, as mentioned, competition is essentially with ourselves. If we could be better people, stronger people, emotionally, spiritually, etc., more forgiving people, etc., a lot of our problems in life can be met in or overcome. As stated by Joyce Meyer, quote, sometimes we ask life to change our circumstances, but sometimes life uses our circumstances to change us. Don't be afraid of competition. Recognize it and meet it head on, but realize that you're certainly more than this as well.